Finance Committee meeting for Saturday, May 15, 2021. And we have a tape, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, so I'm going to open this up. Does anyone have any issues or any questions heading into town meeting this morning?
I have one that I think might come up, and somebody asked me and I didn't know the answer. Because frankly, I tell you, I haven't been out getting my mailbox for a week because I lost my keys. They asked me about something in the, people who are working for the town. There's something, a longevity bonus or something?
Yeah, that's a new initiative this year. It's going to be changed to the bylaw.
Right.
Usually Matt speaks to this, but what happens is we have a 10-step schedule.
Right.
So the people who've been here for 15 years are well beyond that.
Right.
So it's to give a longevity similar to what the police contract and the teachers union have.
Mhm.
Some kind of longevity for
Right.
people that have been with the town for more than 15 years who are maxed out at that step 10.
But I'm just curious if it went before the finance committee, because I don't remember seeing that.
It was actually tabled to be voted on at this meeting.
Ah,
So Article 11, 12, and 13 at the annual town meeting were all scheduled to be voted on today.
okay. Well, I hope they're able to explain it, because like I said, I got a lot of questions on it, and I said I don't know anything about it.
I think that what I just said is the basic explanation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jean, we didn't have anything else this time open, right? Carried over from last meeting,
You mean from your FinCom meeting?
right?
Yes, Articles 11, 12, and 13 you did not vote on.
Yeah, is Matt coming over, you know, Jean?
I'm sorry?
Is Matt coming over? Because he's the one that's supposed to,
Present them?
I would think.
I think Matt is with the Board of Selectmen's meeting. I can tell you.
Can't Jean present them?
Well,
You're- remember this.
the longevity is basically basic explanation I just
What we
provided.
just talked about.
The Articles 12 and 13, which are the union contracts, I believe you were waiting for a date, and the date was April 13th. So both the unions and the board agreed to those contracts. That's 12 and 13.
So those are all signed, sealed, and delivered then, those,
Well, they need town meeting to ratify
but
them.
the union and
The union and the board have agreed to
they
the
agree,
terms.
okay, great.
Has anybody seen those terms in 12 and 13?
Yeah, that's my thing. We haven't.
I haven't seen those at all.
I can't see how I can vote to recommend or not
I
recommend.
can't vote to recommend that. That's like a
So-
2-hour review.
This is already the flyer that's gone out.
Right.
At town meeting this morning, nobody gets up and says, somebody could ask,
Right,
where's the finance committee on that issue at the moment?
right.
But that doesn't happen anyway. I think that in a minute, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sandy.
In a minute, I'm going to
Do you want to
hear motions likely to continue to table recommendations on particularly 12 and 13. And even 11 to some extent, but I don't see us with a verbal approval. We're not gonna get up at that morning and this morning and present when that issue comes up and say, oh, by the way, let us let you know, we voted this morning and voted to approve without seeing anything new. So,
I think where 11 is tied into 12 and 13, I don't see how we can.
No, 11 is not tied into 12 and 13. 11 is a separate article for those employees that are on the personal compensation chart.
Right, but the reason that I say it's tied in is the fact that you said, well, you want to make it the same as the police and the teachers union, but we haven't seen the police and the
No, I'm
teachers
sorry.
union.
If that's how you understood it, that's not what I
Right.
intended. The teachers union and the police already have a longevity component built into their contracts. This is not the same dollar amount or the same length of term. The police union has a staggered longevity, as does the teachers union. This is strictly just giving $1,000 to those that are employed for more than 10 years.
These are all non-union
These are
contractors.
non-union, correct.
But that is
Right. All
$1,000 for every year, right?
It is $1,000 for each year.
Right. So if someone was there for 15 years, they would get 5,000 if.
No, 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 no,
No,
no.
no, no.
It's $1,000,
Period.
period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
But
And this
for-
is, if I may pipe in, is this to kind of balance out the scales between union, non-union, incentives or packages that are here? And not understanding that we don't have any understanding of what the final packages of the unions are, because we haven't seen them.
My interpretation is to give something to the people that have been employed by the town for more than 15 years who are maxed out on that
Yeah.
10th step.
Okay, so
Okay.
that would take care of like, the ones that are not union, like people in the town hall and the highway department.
Water, sewer, highway,
Yeah,
library,
okay.
council on aging.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, you know what? The last thing we need to do is have the water and sewer and the highway department decide to unionize, because they're all working real good together. So I think I would be in favor of this bylaw change on 11. To keep them on par with everybody else without having to go union, because then you get union and if John wants Guy to go over and help the water department, well, no, union's not gonna let that happen.
Have there been any threats of that, Carol?
Well, they haven't been, but if it
Okay, I'm
doesn't,
just wondering.
yeah, I mean,
Probably about 15, when I first
Yeah.
started, both the town hall management, and yeah, there was talk about it back then.
yeah. I mean, if you're not keeping them up, if they look around, they see what the fire department's getting, they see what the
Right.
police are getting, they see what the teachers are getting, and hey, wait a minute, we're out here working in the snow and the cold and everything, and we're not
Right.
getting the same. And if unions come in, because they're looking for customers.
Well, these are people who are maxed out,
Right,
Correct.
that have been longtime
Right.
faithful employees of the town.
exactly.
And realistically, like, I kind of agree with your comment, is that this is like small potatoes,
Right.
and at the same time, these are loyal employees, so
Right,
why wouldn't you
exactly.
want to keep them?
It's just
Exactly.
evening the field, like you don't have a pay table that crosses all of the departments that we have here in town. I
Mhm.
think that's what we're looking at is how do we make sure everybody's
Right.
somewhat apples to apples versus apples to oranges right now? Because of how the pay table is set up, once they hit that thing, they're not getting anything else, so the only way to make
Right.
them whole is
Right.
this longevity.
Where's the
That's how
gap
I
there?
look at it.
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word whole, but I would say,
Well, they're making them somewhat whole because they're not keeping up with their peers across. So this is one way to help them.
So the
Yes.
longevity in the police contract is 5 to 10 years, $600, 10 to 15 years, $900, 15 to 20 years, $1,100, 20 to 25 years, $1,300, and 25 years and beyond, $1,600. So as you see, they're different. They're not, it's just
it's
giving.
not equal. I get it.
They're making them somewhat, but they have a longevity.
Correct.
Where right now, the non-union folks do not have a
Right,
longevity.
right.
So
Correct.
it's trying to make them, hey, we do see your value.
Yeah. So we're ready to take a vote on number 11?
I make a motion that we approve number 11.
Thank you, Carol. Carol's
second it.
motion, Phil's second. All those in favor of recommending Article 11?
Aye.
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 Do we want
Jean,
to
do you
do a
think we
roll
need
call
a?
vote? Yeah, I
Sure,
think you
yeah.
might do a
So
roll
Phil,
call.
why don't we start over there and work our way clockwise?
Phil Landry, aye.
Carol Godolinsky, aye. Oh, I thought you were going this way.
Left, right.
Dick?
Dick Vanderberg, aye.
Howard D'Amico, aye.
Heather Moore and I.
Okay.
I should have made full disclosure first. I am eligible to receive this stipend. I don't know if that would have changed your vote.
Oh, wait a minute. You didn't say that.
I figured that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, any debate then on 12 or 13 at the moment?
I don't feel like we can say anything because I haven't seen anything. Don't we have to have information in front of us to figure out what these are? The devil's in the details with every single union contract, and that hasn't been fully explained to us, I don't
We
think.
weren't part of the collective bargaining either. We weren't at all the meetings between the union people and the town people, and I think we sort of trust that they're gonna do it because we're not actually negotiators, so.
Right.
Do we trust our town manager and do we trust people to have done it in good faith, I guess that's the question.
Well, both sides, right? Your police union
Yeah.
and your board of selectmen,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I mean, I trust Matt implicitly that he's working for the town and the people. But at the same time, if I'm going to recommend something kind of as the watchdog for the people of the town, I need to know what it is. I don't have any idea what it is at this point.
Correct,
That's kind of how I feel too. We never got a chance to even look at it.
correct.
I mean, I
But the
think,
thing is, these guys are negotiating, and what if the negotiations go up until yesterday? There's no way we have a chance to look at it,
The
so.
great thing
Then we
about
can't vote on
email is
it.
it really works
Then I think-
instantaneously.
the
What's that,
people in town
Sandy?
have
So
to
then
know
we
that.
can't vote on it.
Or you can vote on it saying you trust your people.
No.
Not something this big, though. This is not like a $100 line item. This
Because if
is,
that's the
Yeah,
case, why do we need a
I
finance
can't even
committee?
imagine we would get into the nuts and bolts of these contracts. Yeah.
So then it shouldn't even be here. How can you vote on something you can't see? And
Right.
if you're not gonna be able to see it, you can't vote on it.
so in the event that we cannot actually make a decision on it, do we just deny it, or do we push it along down the path and say we're not gonna make a call on it?
That's what I think. We just say we have no
Well, I think it-
recommendation.
I would think that again, it's put it to a vote, see what we come back with, and then if we're still,
Yeah, I'm looking for a motion.
I make a motion that we approve Article 12.
All those in favor, Heather, starting with you.
Heather Moore, aye.
Phil?
No, Phil Landry.
No, Carol Godlinski.
I declined to vote.
She abstains.
I abstained.
Okay.
Dick Van Berg, aye.
Howard D'Amico, aye. Okay, and similar discussion with regard to Article 13.
So that was 3 ayes, 2 nays,
Two
and 1
nays and an
abstention.
abstention, right. Oh, I forget, thank you, yes. Yep. I would entertain a motion with regard to Article 13.
I make a motion that we approve Article 13.
Heather's motion,
Second.
Dick's second. And Dick, retroactively, do you want to second Sandy's, Heather's motion on 12?
I do.
Okay. And so, motion and seconded, vote.
Heather Moore,
Heather?
aye.
Phil?
Phil Landry, no.
I think I should have abstained the last time. 'Cause I don't know if I'm for it or I'm against it, but I can't see
Sure,
how I can
that's
vote
fair.
for it,
Yeah,
but I never
that's fair.
saw it.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna abstain.
yeah.
I abstained. Sandy
Yeah.
Capers abstained.
Dick,
Dick Van Berg, aye.
Howard D'Amico, aye.
Ty.
So 3 yes, 1 no,
Good
2
luck with that.
abstentions.
Oh, my. All right.
So what does that vote take? Because we got two abstains, 1 no, and 3 ayes.
If we're asked at town meeting what we think of it, we'll report 3 in favor, 1 on that last one against, and 2 abstaining.
Yeah.
And the rationale is pretty straightforward, right?
Mhm, right.
Some of us, and right, just different perceptions of how much detail we need to know and who we would rely on to do that detail digging in order to vote.
See,
Fair enough, no harm, no foul.
in my world is like, we're kind of the watchdogs for the administration, or for the people through the administration. And if we don't understand what that is, then even though we trust the administration, we're really designed to back up what the citizens are looking out for. And if we don't know, we can't say.
But I would
That's what I
say-
think anyway.
I guess you should have come prepared. I should think you should have gotten a contract, reviewed it, so you can make your own analysis.
I had no idea that they weren't gonna give us that.
Oh.
So I figured we
You were
would get
gonna
something
read it this
today to
morning in 45
peruse.
minutes?
Say again?
You were gonna read it this morning in 45
Yes.
minutes?
Oh, well, at least the highlights of everything.
How would you rely on the highlights?
Oh, I would have seen the documents. Are you badgering the witness, Howard?
Shall we move on?
I think you're badgering the witness.
But I think to be fair, Matt has been very transparent about the police and the fire negotiation when we've had our conversations, closed door. He's been very transparent about what he was negotiating, where they were, how close they were to signing the contracts before we had our last meeting. So I think we already had the details.
But he
No,
didn't
well,
give us any details.
we didn't get
He
the
just
final
told us
details.
He was doing it. He didn't tell us what they were
It
doing.
was that, so, I mean,
Again, it goes to the depth of to Phil's point of if you're going to rely on someone else,
Right,
or you're going to read the whole thing yourself, determine whether you think it's reasonable and fair, and
right.
maybe even need to go into
But I
what
think-
led to it.
I think that's-
Everybody's different on the committee as to
Right.
what they're prepared to do to make their vote. That's okay.
But I like
That's
what
okay.
Phil says about we're the liaison for the townspeople.
Yeah.
You know, to see what's going on.
If in fact we were to
But-
trust
but
the
Carol,
administration, then
didn't-
why would we
didn't
need
review
this
the
committee?
nuts and bolts of every
Right.
other dime of every other dollar and how it got there for almost anything else?
But you know what, if that's all we're doing, why do we even bother showing up?
That's the point.
Carol,
that
I've made that point for years.
You know,
If we
That's-
blindly trust the administration,
Okay,
then what is the finance committee for?
The
so,
reason the finance committee is here is because the townspeople know somebody's gonna look over their shoulder. So when they prepare a budget, they know it has to go through us, and we're gonna be wearing the green eye shades. So that's one of the reasons we're even here, is because people know they're here.
Right?
Unlike, what town was it where the chief of police had this side fund and hundreds of thousands of dollars? The finance committee there wasn't doing their job.
Sure.
So even though we don't look at every dime and every nickel, the fact that we're here and we're in a position of oversight, I think keeps all the other departments on their best behavior, because they know somebody's gonna be looking over their shoulders. So that's why we're here.
Right, and I agree with that 100%, and that's why these two contracts are such high-level things that we should know every single minutia and detail before we vote to approve.
and again.
That's my opinion.
And again, sincerely though, for next year, you at least with that need are on notice to the extent something like that came up next year. To Dick's point, every one of us is a volunteer putting in a certain level of time.
Sure.
The amount we put in so far has been deemed by the town, I think everybody here is an alumni, right? Has been deemed by the town to be something that they're satisfied that we're doing a certain level of scrutiny and oversight. And to the extent some have more time and more need to look into things in more detail before they can vote, that's okay. But if that's the case, my perception is it's on them to do that homework prior to the vote.
Yeah, see, I would flip it around and say that it's the
Okay,
administration folk who are
Okay.
changing things at last minute, who
Okay.
need to give us communication prior to our votes here.
Okay.
If they want to vote, if they want a yay vote.
Okay.
If they don't care about our yay vote, then just don't
Okay.
give us the info.
Well,
Okay.
if I could just add one thing, if you ever feel that you need further information than what's been sent to you, my request is that you would ask for it. So if this was something that was important to you, then just shoot me a quick email and say, hey, Jean, I see this on the warrant, you know, it was at the last town meeting, last FinCom meeting, this was gonna be tabled, I need to see this prior to the meeting, and then I would request it from that. So if there's something not given to you that you feel like you need to make a decision, please ask for it prior to the meeting, if it hasn't been given to you.
Right. So what, again, I'm flipping it around, is the onus is not on the finance committee to provide the information that we need to make the decisions. It's on you guys to give us the information that we need to make the
No, no, I-
decision.
Phil, I'm gonna cut off your debate, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, there is no debate. It's just a difference of
It
opinion.
is, yep. Okay, do we have anything else, Jean?
Article 8 of the special is going to be passed over today. And Article 7 is in Green Communities Electric Charging Station. That was a grant that Matt spoke about last minute the last time.
Yep,
There is a little more information in the flyer saying it's a $50,000 grant, and we will need some
free cash.
town portion
Yep.
to help with that funding. I can't speak to a great deal about it. The only thing I can tell you is what's written in here. It's going to be located at the municipal center. It is a state grant, and it is for electric vehicle charging stations.
That's Article 7.
Which, you said that this is Article 8?
Article 7 of the special warrant.
Right.
inside the first page.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Jean,
You got me.
who is going to be presenting? Are we presenting the request for approval of Articles 1, 2, and 3 of the annual?
Yes. That would be who? You,
Dick,
Dick Howard.
the vice chair.
Is it-
What?
We're getting you warmed up.
Dick, this is all good practice for you for next
We're
year.
delegating
Do you want to
to,
present this morning?
I wasn't in my mental universe.
No, I'll do it. I got it. Okay.
Can I make a question on this charging station? You got a charging station there. Does it have like a place you put a credit card, so if you're charging up, you pay for the electricity? Do you know, Gene?
I don't think that's what we're talking about.
In other words, is it free electricity for people who want to charge their cars, or
Yeah.
is it for a pay service?
I do not know the answer to that.
I
That's a
think
big
it's the
one.
latter.
I think it was.
The
when
pay
he
service?
Came in last time, we can ask Matt, but I believe it is gonna be paid.
They-
And so the town gets reimbursed for it.
The person comes in, they put in a credit card, and they pay for the electricity they're using, okay?
Yeah, I think, right, the Tesla.
I think
I would-
that's
I
where
would
they
hope
would
that's
like
how
to
it
go.
is.
I don't know that that's indefinite, so I don't want to speak to that.
We don't need to be paying for the electricity if
You
people
sure?
going around with their
Right.
cars.
Right. I think that,
Sandy
I don't
says
think
yes.
that's the idea.
I don't know if you're smiling or not.
That's great. You get
I'm sorry.
the masks on, huh?
I'm sorry, my fault.
We don't, do you have to
Are
if
you
you're,
fully
if you're
vaccinated?
socially distanced?
All right,
Fully vaccinated?
Yeah,
I am.
all that.
all right, and then.
All right.
Gene, the only other one here we've got
There you
is
go, okay.
4. We've got the split. It looks like because it was split, it was denied as to recommended. And there may be minor debate on that. I assume Dr. Fitzpatrick or someone for the BBT would be here.
I'm sure they will be here.
Okay,
I'm sure they will be there.
that's okay.
And I honestly don't know how he's gonna run the budget. The last I heard from him is that he was going to read the motion, so you may not have to stand. I will have to talk quickly with him when we
He,
get up
who
top.
he?
Keith Manad.
Oh,
So
Okay.
if we can just touch base with him
on 4 or on,
on the Articles 1, 2, and 3.
oh, okay, all right, okay. Any other business, folks? Gene?
If we could set a June town meeting, June's FinCom meeting, I'm sorry,
Okay,
just in case we have any reserve fund transfers.
Sure.
I'd like to get the meeting minutes approved.
okay, sure. Tuesday night, what's that come to the,
I think I sent you the 22nd or the 29th were the last.
how about the 22nd?
That's better for me than the next one.
Right,
22.
I think the 29th starts to head into July 4 and everything.
You said June 22nd?
Tuesday, June 22nd, 7 o'clock, back at the Municipal Center.
That works.
Short meeting, I think, but sure, catch up, right? And Jean, if you can, get minutes to us beforehand.
Yes, we're having a little trouble with the minute taker.
Sure.
She's- Yeah, we lost Mary, and the current one is backlogged with the planning, zoning, and conservation.
Jean, what we can, whatever we can.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, you looking to take a vote as to your makeup for next year at
Oh,
that meeting?
we
Your
are. Yes.
reorg? You want to reorg at that meeting? Or do you want to wait till the fall
No, we can do it in June.
at that meeting?
What time on June 22nd?
He's
7?
tanned and he's ready.
7
Oh.
p.m.?
You, that's you.
Throw the crown over to Dick.
Where's Nixon when you need him, right?
Throw the crowd over to Dick, that's my thought.
Or maybe it's time for a woman chairman of the podcast.
Well,
Oh, no, I can't.
I think, have you got seniority right now?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah.
Carol, Carol's been offered
This
18
this
times
way
in a
might
row.
not last that much
No,
longer. You gotta take
Carol's
it.
been offered every year.
You've got a lot of,
Because I'm on school board, so.
You've got, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I-
weird.
I can't,
Yeah.
for me to be still be impartial,
Right. Right,
Yeah.
I agree with that, I thought that.
Yeah, I'm a taxpayer, I don't know if I can be impartial.
well, we-
Okay.
Are you really? I
So
don't know.
let's
check on that.
continue the meeting up at the annual town meeting, and then right at the end, just briefly, we'll adjourn,
Okay.
okay?
So we're continuing this outside.
The
yes.
meeting continues,
That's
correct?
what-